Right then, it's a brand new week, last day of June as well, and you know what that means. Celtic are officially back in action. The sun's been out, the grass at Lennoxtown is looking immaculate. And there's that buzz in the air again. I wear through the close season now, no doubt about it. The lads are back in training, we've got matches lined up, and things are starting to move properly. That first preseason friendly is just a few days away, this Friday night in fact. And there's a lot to be upbeat about. You can feel it, can't you, that shift when things stop being quiet. And suddenly there's training photos dropping, match previews on the horizon. And new faces popping up in the rumor mill. And speaking of new faces, we might just be on the brink of announcing another signing. So let's dive into that, because it's a name that's been floating about for a wee while now. But it looks like things have really stepped up. But before we get into the big news, just a wee reminder in case it slipped under your radar yesterday, Sunday and all that, we did have a wee chat go up on the channel. Spoke with an Arsenal supporter about Kieran Tierney, his time down south, and how he's changed over the last 6 years. Worth a watch if you fancy a bit more KT content. But back to what's happening now. So Lennoxtown over the weekend looked stunning in the sun, didn't it? Big shout out to Joe for getting that drone up and capturing the whole vibe. That's what you want to see after weeks of silence. Green pitches, sharp training kits, and players putting the work in under that blue sky. Now we did get some comments from John Kennedy, sounded like it was from Friday, giving a quick rundown of how preseason is being phased in. Nothing too detailed on specific players, but the gist of it is that the group already back in training last Friday will be the ones featuring in the game against Queen's Park this week. The international lads, they're expected back at training this Friday, but they won't be involved in that first friendly. More likely they'll get some minutes against Cork City, or maybe when we head off to Portugal. Most of the squad should be back in full swing by the weekend, with only 1 or 2 exceptions. Maybe Alistair Johnston, depending on his schedule. Now when Kennedy says international players, it's a wee bit unclear whether he means those away on international duty or just players based abroad. For instance, Cameron Carter-Vickers wasn't spotted yet, but Austin Trusty was. Rio had it, Days and Maeda, neither were back even though they didn't play for Japan in the summer. James Forrest, same story, a few question marks still, but nothing to panic over at this point. Friday's match is just a fitness test more than anything. Right, let's get into the main story, the one that's got everyone talking. It's all about our next likely signing, Hayato Aramura. The Japanese media broke it yesterday and it sounds pretty nailed on. The reports are saying it's done. Celtic and Albirex Niigata have reached an agreement, and the lads heading to Scotland for a medical and to get the deal over the line. Now, if the name rings a bell, it should. We spoke about him a couple of weeks ago when the first bits of interest started popping up. Back then, it was still in the rumor stage, coming from both the Scottish and Japanese press, which usually means there's some fire behind the smoke. Things went quiet for a bit, but yesterday, boom, it came roaring back with reports from a daily sports paper in Japan, Spanichi. And they're not being coy. According to them, it's all decided. Multiple sources confirming the deal's in place, and we're just waiting on the official word. Aramura played his last game for Niigata on Sunday. Apparently, they got hammered 4-0 at home, mind you. I watched the 3.5 minute highlights and it was rough. Could have been 8. Now Aramura wasn't directly at fault for any of the goals, although on the 4th one, the way the video was cut, you see him dropping to his knees. Looked like a giveaway might have been involved, but nothing conclusive, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt. That said, his team were a mess. Guys tripping over the ball, the keeper chucking one into his own net. It wasn't the send-off he'd have hoped for. They're in a relegation scrap, sitting down near the bottom of the J1 league, and it's fair to say it's not been a great run of form, but for us it doesn't really matter. That chapter's closed, and now he's off to start something new with us. So who is he? What kind of player are we getting here? Well, he's 23, left-footed, and plays as a center back, specifically on the left side of a central pairing. Some folk have said he's a left back too, but that's based on games from years ago. At Niigata, he's been strictly a center half. He's got a nice profile for a modern defender. Good on the ball, can pick a pass, and isn't afraid to carry it forward either. There's clips out there showing him pinging 6-yard diagonals, but also threading passes through the lines. He's got that disguise in his play. Faces one way, slips it inside the other. Looks slick when it comes off, and he's brave with it too. That said, there are moments where he gets caught, gives it away cheap, puts his team under pressure. That'll need tittied up, but here's the thing that caught me off guard. The lad's got real drive when he runs with the ball. Reminded me a bit of Christopher Ager in that sense. Remember when Ajer would pick it up and just burst through the middle? Aramura's got a similar vibe. Not as powerful maybe, but quick and direct, especially from that left center back position. So the upside is there. Ball progression, left-footed, good age, and clearly the kind of profile Brendan Rodgers has been after, someone who can step out and get the play moving. Celtic have wanted a center back like this for a while now, but what about the other side of his game? Aerially, he's not the strongest. He loses quite a few headers, and that's in the Japanese league, which isn't exactly known for physicality. Scottish football, totally different beast. Set pieces, long throws, strikers who love a wrestle. It could be a steep learning curve. That's the concern, really. You think back to Yuki Kobayashi, another left-footed Japanese center back, who looked the part on the ball but really struggled with the physical demands over here. Got bullied at times, lost confidence, and never really recovered. And it's not about generalizing, it's about precedent. Kobayashi came in with similar credentials and it didn't work out. So naturally there's going to be some caution around Aramura. Is he ready to start right away? Can he handle the rough and tumble in places like Tynecastle or Pittodrie? That's the big question. Because if he's not a starter, we've still got that gap next to Cameron Carter-Vickers, and if he is brought in to start, there'll need to be some patience while he adapts. Will Rodgers give him that time, or if he has a couple of shaky outings, is he dropped? And we're back to the scales and trusty rotation again. The thing with Celtic center backs is you really need to hit the ground running. Starfelt, remember, had a rough start, but Ainge stuck with him mostly because we had no one else. If Aramura stumbles early and Rodgers doesn't fancy him after that, it could all fall apart before it even gets going. But listen, there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic too. He's clearly talented, he's coming in with a fresh hunger, and if he can adjust, he might just be a gem. He's had a short pro career, only officially signed a full contract with Niigata 6 months ago. Before that, he was still a student classed as a designated special player, which is a thing they do over there. Rio had a similar path. So yeah, he's raw, but maybe that's what makes him exciting. The potential is there. Now it's up to Celtic and Aramura himself to turn that potential into something real. So if Aramura hits the ground running, we might just have a proper player on our hands. But even if he needs a wee betting in period, it's no the end of the world. He's young, he's got talent, and if Rodgers sees something in him worth developing, then that in itself is a good sign. Celtic don't tend to make these moves without serious scouting, especially when it comes to Japanese players. The track record's there. Some have taken time, others slotted in straight away, but the effort behind the scenes is clear. And let's be honest, the squad does need freshening up. The second half of last season got a bit stale, didn't it? You could feel it. Games were flatter, the energy dipped. So bringing in new faces, new attitudes, that's exactly what's needed to give the team that jolt. Before the new campaign gets going, Aramura might not be the only answer, but he's part of it. Now looking at the bigger picture, there's more going on. Kieran Tierney back in the mix, Benjamin Negron confirmed, Ross Doohan's come in, and you've got young Osman looking set to be announced any day now. So you can't really accuse Celtic of sitting on their hands this summer. Things are moving quicker than we're used to. Last year we were halfway through July before anything meaningful happened. This time around we're still in June and already stacking the squad. Sure, some might say a few of the signings are more for squad depth than instant first-team impact. But even so, Tierney and Negron straight away lift the level. And the rest, they might surprise us. Osman's one for the future, but highly rated in Aramura. Well, we've said our piece there. There's genuine upside if it all clicks. And let's not forget what Rodgers said back in early May. When asked how many players he felt the team needed, he said 3, assuming everyone stayed. So if Tierney was already sorted by, then maybe Negron and a striker were on that list. A left winger to could be. Still feels like another left back might come in, plus a midfielder depending on who leaves. The market's still open and there's time to make a few more smart additions. So it's early days, but there's a sense this summer's being handled with a bit more urgency and clarity than the last. If the lads coming in settle quickly and we keep the core of the team strong, there's every chance we'll hit the ground running. The mood's better, the activity's sharper, and it finally feels like we're building something again. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a growing murmur swirling around the east end of Glasgow. Could it be true? Could the mercurial Frenchman Dimitri Payet be making his way to Celtic Park? Nothing's been made official yet, of course, but word on the street is that The Hoops might be on the verge of pulling off one of the most sensational signings in recent memory. Payet, now 38, still possesses the kind of vision and flair that made him a fan favorite at West Ham, and a standout for France at Euro 2016. After leaving Olympique Marseille and flirting with a move to the Middle East, some insiders are now suggesting Paradise could be his next destination. While there's no confirmation from the club or player representatives, whispers from within Lennox Town say talks may have taken place, or at the very least, someone made a call, and wouldn't it be something? Brendan Rodgers has often spoken about bringing experience and creativity into the side, especially with Champions League qualifiers on the horizon. Payet, even in the twilight of his career, could offer that spark, that moment of brilliance. A free kick curled into the top corner, a no-look pass that splits a defense wide open. It's that kind of magic that Celtic fans adore. Skeptics will question his fitness, his age, and whether he still has the legs for the high-intensity demands of the Scottish Premiership. But then again, this is Celtic we're talking about. A club known for reviving the careers of seasoned pros, turning doubters into believers. If Payet's head is in the right place, if he's truly looking for one last challenge, what better place than under the lights of Parkhead? For now, it's just a rumor, a glint of hope passed quietly among fans in the pub or across social media threads. But don't be surprised if it grows louder in the coming days, because when it comes to the boys, stranger things have happened, and Payet in green and white, it's not as far-fetched as it might sound. Hello, fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.